Dear viewers, 80 years ago, the Reverend W. Awdry told his first stories about the railways of Sodor. His first book, The Three Railway Engines, recounted events from over 100 years ago. However, not all of these events were told in detail. Some were left out. When I visited the railway last year, Edward, Henry, Gordon, and Thomas were keen to share those stories, which I am now sharing with you. I hope you enjoy them. The author. Many decades ago, when the Northwestern Railway was in its earliest years, only a few engines worked on it. Thomas was the station pilot, who shunted the trains at the big station. Henry was in charge of the express, and Edward pulled passenger and goods trains along the main line. There were other engines too, who were in charge of smaller branch lines. For a few years, the railway ran smoothly, but soon changes had to be made. Some of the engines that worked on the island were on loan from the mainland. They were meant to return when the railway was built, but the fat director, who was in great need of more engines, pleaded to keep them for longer. But, as the years passed, they soon left back to their own railways, one by one, until only one, named Oscar, remained. With fewer engines, they had to balance the extra work between them. One morning, when Edward was getting ready for the day's work, the fat director came to see him.
Good morning, sir. What brings you here?
I'm in a bit of a predicament, Edward. You see, Henry stopped inside a tunnel yesterday and refused to come out. So I'm afraid another engine will have to do his work. Would you be able to take Henry's morning express? The express was a heavy train, and Edward was only a small engine, but the passengers needed their train.
I'll do it, sir.
That's a good engine. Thomas will shunt the coaches for you at the station. You'd better hurry now. Edward did hurry, and sure enough, he found the coaches neatly arranged at the station.
I didn't expect you to take the express today, Edward. Did Henry not want to wake up again?
It's not that, Thomas. Apparently, he got stuck in a tunnel.
Really? Doesn't he know that he's meant to rest in sheds, not tunnels?
He should know. I must get going. Take care, Thomas.
Sounds like you're the one who needs to take care, Edward.
As Edward brought the train up to speed, he couldn't help but puff and wheeze. He could almost understand Henry's steaming troubles. By the time Edward reached Croven's gate, he was red in the face and panting ferociously.
Are you alright, Edward? You seem exhausted.
I am Starlowy. I had to take the express all the way here.
You took the express all the way from Vickerstown?
Yes.
Edward went to fill up water, leaving behind a very surprised Scarlowy. That evening, Edward was exhausted as he crawled to the shed. Oscar, the red engine, was already there.
It's been a rough day, huh?
How did you know?
It's obvious, isn't it? Everyone's heard about you pulling the express. It'd be hard not to. Everyone could hear you pushing yourself to bits.
I just tried my best.
I know that, but have you considered that maybe you're not the most suitable engine for the express?
I pulled the express just fine on my old railway.
Ah, but times have changed, and trains have become heavier. Have you seen those new steam engines on the other railways?
I've heard about them.
Those are steam engines built with big, long trains in mind. Engines like us, well, we're becoming obsolete.
You mean we're going to be scrapped?
That's not what I mean. I'm just trying to say that you shouldn't push yourself too much for a train that's evidently meant for larger engines. Henry's bigger than you, and he's the one who pulled the express before, after all.
You have a point.
If it makes you feel better, I can voice my concerns to the Fat Director. I'm sure he'll be able to do something about it.
No, it's fine. He already has enough work on his hands, and he can't even afford another engine right now.
Are you sure? Your safety should come first. You'll only put more work on the Fat Director's hands if you break down or something.
I'll make sure not to go that far. Just trust me.
All right, if you say so.
Over the next few weeks, Edward continued to pull the express. It was an exhausting job, but Edward knew that the express had to run no matter what. One day, Edward was pulling the express as usual, when...
What's the matter?
We'll have to check. After the brief inspection, Edward's crew had some worrying news. Looks like your boiler's overheated. Too much work put on you, I expect.
Bother. I can't leave the express in the middle of the line.
I'm sure another engine will come soon enough. Sure enough, one did.
Are you all right, Edward?
I'll be fine, but the passengers have been waiting for a while.
All right, I'll take the passengers.
By the time Oscar finished his express run, it was getting dark. Oscar returned to take Edward to the shed.
Thanks for helping me out, Oscar. I owe you one.
Don't worry about it.
Say, why are we going to the shed? I thought I was supposed to go to the works.
Fat Director's orders.
Edward would soon find out what those orders were. Hello, Edward. How are you feeling?
Well enough, sir. I can still...
No, you'll need to be mended before you can take another train, let alone the express.
Then why have I not gone to the works, sir?
I'm afraid we don't have the equipment necessary at the moment. We'll need to wait until we can order it. You see, I've been saving up for another engine.
What do you mean, sir?
Even before your predicament, I noticed that you were straining yourself with the express. That made me realize that we need another engine to pull it.
When will he arrive, sir?
Now that Edward is out of order, he will be a top priority. He'll arrive as soon as possible. True to his word, the Fat Director brought an engine from the mainland as soon as he could. But, to everyone's surprise, he brought two other engines with him.
I thought we were only getting one engine, sir.
Change of plan, Oscar. Now, I'd like all of you to meet Gordon, Leonard, and Vincent. They'll be helping out with the workload from now on, including the express.
Sir, which one of us three will pull the express?
Each of you will have a day of trial runs. After that, I'll decide which of you is most suitable for the express.
What about the rest of us?
Don't worry, you will still be pulling passenger trains. And who knows, I might be opening a new branch line sometime soon as well. The Fat Director departed, leaving some agitated engines behind.
Branch line? I refuse to work on a branch line.
I'd love to have a branch line.
Be my guest. Don't expect me to help you when you lose your way, though.
As the fastest engine you've ever seen, there's no doubt I'm going to be chosen for that express.
Care to test that out, fat face?
Fat face! You take that back!
Calm down, all of you. You all need to be on your best behavior. The Fat Director doesn't like engines who are full of themselves.
The Fat Director doesn't like engines who are full of themselves. Tell that to someone who cares.
You should care if you want to keep your place on this railway.
Don't worry about them, Oscar. If you can't teach them sense, the Fat Director certainly will.
Over the next few days, Leonard, Vincent, and Gordon were trialed. A few days later, the Fat Director visited the sheds to announce his results. Good evening, engines. I have two pieces of good news to bring. First, Edward will finally be sent to the works to be mended.
Thank you, sir.
What's the other good news, sir?
I've decided who will be the express engine. Gordon, Vincent, and Leonard, all three of you have done excellently. But after much deliberation, I've decided to appoint Gordon as the dedicated express engine.
Of course. Thank you, sir.
Now, Gordon, I'll be keeping an eye on you to make sure you're on your best behavior. If you act up, I will have to give the express to another engine. Understood?
Yes, sir.
That's a good engine. Good night.
How did Gordon get the job? That's a load of rubbish.
How is that rubbish exactly? Me and Leonard have both pulled the express on our old railway. I bet Gordon hasn't pulled it at all. Did you see the way he swanked about?
And yet, I was chosen over you two. That must say something about your performance, eh?
Quit it. Gordon, remember what the Fat Director said. Leonard and Vincent, don't be spiteful of Gordon. Why shouldn't we be? He stole our job.
He didn't steal anything. The both of you will still be useful anyway.
No matter what they said, neither Edward nor Oscar could dissuade Leonard or Vincent from resenting Gordon. Edward didn't have time to worry about it, as his repairs put his mind off of the matter. Meanwhile, Leonard and Vincent had matters of their own to deal with.
Sir, I'm sure Gordon would be happy to give us another chance.
I already told you, Gordon is the express engine, and that's my decision. Now I believe you have a passenger train to take soon.
Still no success.
Nope. That man is stubborn.
There's got to be a way. Uh-huh.
What is it?
What if we told the Fat Director that Gordon should be trialed on goods trains? That way, he'll have an incentive to put Gordon off the express.
That could work. Then we could show him that we're better at pulling the express than Gordon ever was.
Later that evening, when Oscar returned to the shed, he was surprised to see Edward already there.
Hello, Edward. When did you come back?
This morning.
Then why haven't I seen you at all today?
I've been told to stay in the shed today. The Fat Director said he wanted to trial Leonard, Vincent, and Gordon some more.
Really? So they're doing your jobs? Not that we have a say in it. What? If it was up to me, I wouldn't be pulling goods trains at all. Well, Edward would be happy to take them then.
That dinky old engine wouldn't be able to handle any train, even goods trains. And that's saying something.
That's no way to speak to an engine.
Don't tell me what to do, rusty old-timer.
I'm afraid to say, Leonard and Vincent were still as hot-headed as ever as they continued to do Edward's work. But this time, they had a plan.
Sir, I'd like to ask...
What is it this time, Leonard?
I was thinking, sir, perhaps Gordon should be trialed on goods trains. After all, you've trialed us on Edward's goods trains, and we've done well. You'd want to make sure Gordon can pull goods trains too.
I suppose so. Very well. Tomorrow, Gordon will be trialed on goods, and you and Vincent will pull the express.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Gordon was not pleased to learn of the Fat Director's arrangement, but he knew that orders were orders. The next day came, and Leonard and Vincent were very excited to prove their worth with the express.
Sweet, sweet express. Hey, get out. I'm about to take the express.
No, you're not. I'll be taking the express today.
You can take it in the afternoon.
Well, I was the one to come up with the idea, so I should be the one to take it first.
Leonard and Vincent continued to argue, and soon the passengers began to argue too, about what a bad railway it was. The Fat Director heard the commotion. What's going on here, Thomas?
Leonard and Vincent are arguing about who should pull the express, sir.
Bother those engines.
Ah, hello, sir. You can decide which of us should pull the express.
Well, I believe...
Silence, both of you. Neither of you will be pulling the express.
What?
My engines should be able to get along, and they certainly shouldn't be holding up the passengers and causing a disturbance. Perhaps this will teach you a lesson.
But, sir, we'll take the express.
Edward, that old-fashioned...
Quiet down, Leonard. You brought this upon yourself. Leonard knew that his driver was right, but he didn't want to admit it. At last, Edward was put to use again. Although that day would be his last time pulling the express, he was happy with whatever trains were given to him. As for Leonard and Vincent, they received a stern talking to from the Fat Director. I'm not happy with your attitude. I expect you to be useful with any train. On top of that, I've heard about your remarks towards Edward and Oscar. I expect better behavior from my engines. Until you two learn some sense, you'll be taking goods trains only.
But sir, who will take the passenger trains? Surely Edward and Oscar can't manage them alone.
I think a certain engine in a tunnel might be able to help. But as for the two of you, if your behavior doesn't improve soon, you will no longer be welcome on this railway. Do you understand?
Yes,
sir.
Leonard and Vincent were not happy with their punishment, but I think they deserved it. Don't you?